October 2001. The Tarn Valley in southern France. A surveyor marks the ground where a pier will stand. The pier will rise 245 meters. The A75 motorway ran south toward the Mediterranean and stopped at the valley. Every summer, traffic descended into the town of Millau and stood still. Engineers studied the crossing for years.
A low bridge meant dropping into the valley and climbing back out. The decision was to stay high. Michel Virlogeux proposed a cable-stayed deck. Norman Foster drew the masts above it. The crossing would run 2,460 meters. The road would sit 270 meters above the river. The valley funnels wind. Models of the deck were tested in a wind tunnel. Concrete was too heavy. The deck would be built in steel on the plateaus at each end, then pushed out into the air over the valley. The piers were cast in place, 4 meters at a time, inside formwork that climbed itself. Each lift took about 3 days. Near the top, each pier splits into 2 thin shafts. The gap lets the pier bend as the steel above it expands and contracts with the heat. The deck was welded together on the plateaus at each end of the valley. Finished, it weighed about 36,000 tons. Then it had to move. Hydraulic jacks pushed the deck out in strokes of 60 centimeters. 7 temporary steel piers were built between the concrete ones to carry it across. Satellite receivers on the deck reported its position continuously. Sensors tracked how far the piers leaned. The whole crossing was steered by numbers rather than sight. The deck advanced from both sides at once. By May 2004, the halves stood facing each other across the last gap in the middle of the valley. The 2 halves met on the 28th of May, 2004. Surveyors checked the alignment. The error across the joint was measured in centimeters. Steel masts were lifted onto the deck above each pier. Cables were run from the masts down to the road. Then the temporary piers came out. The bridge opened in December 2004, 3 years after the first pier was cast. The summer queues through the town ended. Drivers crossed the valley in minutes. The crossing cost about 400 million euros. No public money paid for it. The contractor built the bridge and took the right to charge for it. Sensors were left inside the structure to record movement, temperature, and load. They report continuously. The bridge is watched more closely than the road it replaced. The viaduct now carries the main route to the Mediterranean coast. Drivers who refuse the toll still take the old road through Millau.